Imagine waking up to this headline. January 2026. The stepfather of 2 missing children arrested. Sexual assault, forcible confinement. Daniel Martell, the man who lived with 6-year-old Lilly and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan inside their rural Nova Scotia home. Taken into custody. Police insist the charges involve an adult victim. No official connection to the children's disappearance. And yet, the timing, the location, the details emerging from unsealed court documents have left thousands asking one haunting question. What was really happening inside that house before those 2 little kids vanished without a trace? This video is based entirely on public records, court filings, and media reporting. No speculation, only what's documented. If you want the clearest, most up-to-date look at the man at the center of this case, stay right here. The story starts now. January 26, 2026. Around 11:30 in the morning, Pictou County RCMP officers arrest 34-year-old Daniel Robert Martell at his home in Lansdowne. The charges: sexual assault, forcible confinement. According to the official statement, the allegations involve an adult complainant. Martell is released later that same day under conditions, scheduled to appear in Pictou Provincial Court on March 2nd. The arrest comes nearly 9 months after Lilly and Jack Sullivan were reported missing from that very same rural property on Gairloch Road. Public records show on the morning of May 2nd, 2025, their mother calls 911. The children are no longer inside the home. Martell was living there as her common-law partner, the only other adult present. That morning, court documents, unsealed in mid-January 2026, already pointed to earlier tensions inside the household. In a police interview conducted just days after the disappearance, the mother described incidents where Martell would block her path, hold her down, or push her during arguments. She also stated he sometimes took her phone when she tried to contact her family. These are her recorded statements within the documents, not findings of guilt, not proven in court. Now, many observers studying the timeline are asking, why didn't those earlier reports trigger stronger intervention? The arrest has brought those documents back into sharp focus. And remember, everything discussed here comes directly from publicly available records and official statements. This video makes no claims of guilt. It simply examines what the public record shows. But perhaps the most unsettling detail is what those same documents reveal about the atmosphere the children were living in during the months leading up to their disappearance. Daniel Martell and Malahia Brooks Murray had been together for roughly 3 years by the time the children went missing. Public records indicate she moved on to his mother's property in Lansdowne around August 2023, bringing Jack. The couple later welcomed a baby daughter. From the outside, the home appeared ordinary, a quiet rural property surrounded by woods, open fields. Martell worked locally. Neighbors described the family as keeping to themselves, but unsealed search warrant documents tell a different story of daily life. Brooks Murray told police that arguments sometimes turned physical. She described incidents where Martell blocked doorways, held her in place, and once pushed her hard enough to cause pain. She also stated he would remove her phone during disagreements, making it difficult to contact her mother. These are allegations documented in police notes from May 2025, never tested in court. Still, they raise serious questions about the environment inside that home. Lilly, described by family as energetic, a child with autism. Jack, her younger brother, close, inseparable. Friends speaking publicly in February 2026 say the mother was devoted, but under significant stress. Some relatives told media that warning signs may have existed long before the arrest. One family member mentioned Brooks Murray had expressed feeling controlled at times. Again, these are reported accounts. From court filings and media coverage, not proven findings, the documents also show Martell was the last adult to see the children. That morning, he told investigators he had already been outside searching for them before the 911 call was even made. What the public record does not reveal is why those earlier complaints appear to have received limited follow-up. And this leads to the moment that has left so many people uneasy: the arrest itself and the charges that echo patterns described in those earlier documents. The charges against Daniel Martell are serious: sexual assault, forcible confinement. RCMP have been clear. The victim is an adult, and this case is being treated separately from the Sullivan investigation. Martell was arrested on a Monday morning, processed quickly, released the very same day, under conditions, restrictions on movement, restrictions on contact. According to the official release, the incident tied to these charges occurred before the children disappeared. The exact date has not been made public, but the nature of the allegations, control, physical violence, has prompted many to re-examine the household dynamics already documented in the May 2025 police files. In a recorded interview on January 6, 2026, just 3 weeks before his arrest, Martell sat down with a journalist. He stated he believed the children's disappearance was criminal. He said he was certain they were still alive, calm, composed, holding photographs of Lilly and Jack, expressing frustration with the pace of the search. That interview is now widely available online, and viewers have pointed out the striking contrast between his confident tone and the charges filed. Less than a month later, public reaction has been intense across Reddit, across X, thousands asking the same question: how can two separate investigations involving the same man in the same small community not be connected in some way? Police continue to insist there is no official link, yet the timing and the nature of the charges have led many to wonder whether the home environment described in earlier documents was more volatile than authorities realized. Because if the allegations across both timelines describe similar patterns, then the next question becomes, were those patterns ever fully addressed before the children vanished? Looking back through the public filings, several moments stand out, potential red flags. In the May 9th, 2025 police interview, Brooks Murray explicitly described physical incidents involving Martell. The documents note she stated he would try to block her, hold her down, and once he pushed her. She also reported that he took her phone during arguments, sometimes in a way that caused pain. These statements were recorded while the children were still missing, while the search was at its most intense. The documents further reveal that both adults, along with several family members, submitted to polygraph examinations early in the investigation. Reports indicate all apparently passed, yet the allegations of abuse were documented and from what the public record shows, did not immediately result in protective measures for the children. Some observers, familiar with domestic violence protocols, argue that in blended families, where controlling behavior is reported, extra safeguards are often necessary. In this case, the children were described as especially vulnerable. Lilly, living with autism, dependent on routine, clear communication. Jack, only 4 years old, energetic, highly active, friends of the mother, speaking publicly in early February 2026, described her as taking it day by day, focused on her remaining child, focused on the search. They portrayed a devoted parent under extraordinary pressure. Now, the arrest has forced many to revisit those earlier reports if the same individual is facing charges involving similar elements of physical control. The question being asked is simple. Was an opportunity missed to intervene more forcefully? This is not about assigning blame. It is about examining whether the public record reveals possible gaps in a case involving two vulnerable children, and that examination leads directly to the biggest question, still hanging over the entire story. With the arrest now public, the internet filled quickly with uneasy questions. Was enough attention paid to the children's safety inside the home? Could earlier reports have triggered a deeper welfare check? And why does the disappearance investigation still appear to treat household dynamics as secondary? Online communities have dissected every public statement. Martell's January 6th interview, where he called the disappearance criminal, where he insisted the children were alive, is now viewed through a very different lens, viewers point out. The contrast, calm, composed, at a time when many parents in similar situations appear visibly distraught. At the same time, friends of the mother have emphasized her love for her children, her daily struggle to cope. They stress she cooperated fully with investigators from the beginning. The RCMP continues to state the case remains active. Every lead is being pursued. The arrest is unrelated, yet the public record shows something difficult to ignore. A man living in the home with documented allegations of physical control, now facing new charges involving similar elements. Parents, grandparents, following this story, often voice the same quiet concern if even a fraction of those earlier reports had been treated with greater urgency. Would two little children still be missing? We still do not know what happened to Lilly and Jack. No court has linked the arrest to their disappearance. The only certainty is that public documents now describe a household under strain long before that May morning. And here, the story forces us to look beyond one man and one arrest. This case is bigger than any single arrest. It is about how communities, how courts, how child protection systems respond when warning signs appear inside a home with vulnerable children. The public record shows allegations of controlling behavior months before the disappearance. It shows an arrest on similar allegations 9 months later, and it shows two small children still missing. Many observers now argue that practical changes are urgently needed. Faster follow-up on domestic complaints when children are present, stronger background screening for adults entering blended families, better coordination between police and child welfare agencies, and mandatory safety planning even when abuse is reported. only once. These are not accusations, they are lessons, drawn directly from a documented timeline now available to the public. And remember, every detail discussed here comes from court documents, official statements, and verified reporting. Daniel Martell has not been charged in connection with the children's disappearance. The allegations have not been proven in court. This video exists for information and discussion only. If this story has made you think about the children in your own community, or if you have information that could help, the RCMP and Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers continue to accept tips. The reward remains active. What do you believe needs to change so no other family has to live through a story like this? Tell me in the comments. And if you value careful, fact-based investigations, subscribe and turn on notifications. Thank you for watching. Until the very end, Lilly and Jack deserve to be found, and every child deserves to be safe. Stay vigilant, and let's hope the next update brings them home.